Going live. Let's have that conversation, everybody. Let's talk about what we know about what happened to Nancy Guthrie. Let's talk about the things that we know about. Let's talk about what are the potential suspects in this case, people of interest. Let's have that conversation. What is it that we know about this case? Hello, everybody. Oh man, I'm missing my glasses. Oh, hate when that happens. Looking for some glasses. Give me a second. These are going to have to do. Hello, everybody. Let's have that conversation. What is it that we know about what happened to Nancy Guthrie? What is it about why this case is so complicated? Let's break it down and see if we can make sense of what is going on. Welcome. That's a little better. Raw. Simplify to all the devil pups and all the moderators and all the subscribers and people who are listening to this live. Welcome. Come on in. Let's break it down. Let's break down what we know about Nancy Guthrie. All right. So, what I want to get into right now is what do we really know what happened from the time that porch guy was at that front porch, the one that the Nest Cam of Nancy Guthrie captured, and at the point of when it was stated that she went missing or she was taken. What is it that we know from that point? What are the strange things that were happening around that same time? We know a lot of things. We just can't seem to connect that dot. And it's just not us. Pima County Sheriff's Office, everybody from the FBI, seems like everybody is struggling to make a connection. So it's just not us, it's everybody. It's trying to make sense. Nothing is normal in this case. So what is it that literally are we missing? What are we missing here? It's obvious we're missing information. That's a no-brainer. But what are we missing? Why can't we seem? Why can't Pima County Sheriff's Office? Why can't the FBI seem to connect the dots? I know this is not an easy case, but why is there so much struggle 93, 94 days into Nancy Guthrie gone missing? Let's have that conversation. Let's see where this goes. There's so many things that happen. Did they come in through the front door? Did they come in through the back door? Was the front door double door locked, double bolted locked, that you needed a key to unlock it? If that was the case, why was that porch guy at the front covering up that Nest camera, that door camera? Why was he there doing that? Was he trying to come in? When Nancy Guthrie was taken, did they go out the front door? What is it? When Annie Guthrie and Tommaso got the call and they responded there to make sure that she was okay when she got the phone call, Annie did. What is it? What is it that literally went ahead and did they come in through that front door? They knew the back door was open because they stated that. What is it that literally made them feel or think that Nancy Guthrie came out the front door other than the blood? We have no idea where they came in from. And I'm talking about Annie and Tommaso. We have no idea where the perp at the front, did they come through the front door? Did they come through the back door? According to Nancy and Tommaso, the back doors were wide open. So where is the thinking in all this? Which way did they leave? Did they leave through the back? Did they have a car waiting in the corner somewhere with the lights off to not draw attention? Did they bring it up? Did something go wrong in that midst of kidnapping or whatever you want to call it? Did something go wrong in the house that plans had to change and everybody had to adjust to something? Is that when everything started going haywire? Did Nancy become unalive during that time? Did she become unalive when they got her to the car? If that's how they took her. There's so much unknowns here, and that's what we need to try to figure out. And all we can do is put our brains together and make the most educated guess as possible, because that's all we have. That is all we have. So let's have that conversation. Let's talk about that. Let's talk. Do you think there was a car parked real close by? Do you think they were able to go ahead and get her in that car? Did they put her in the back seat or the trunk? How did it happen? What is your thoughts? Let's hear it, everybody. Let's hear your take. Carol, everyone. How you doing, Carol? What is your take, Carol, on where this went? How did they leave from that house? Did they leave, in your opinion, from the back door or the front door? Yes, we know the blood splatter on the front door. We get that. But which way did they go? Did they really go out that way? Or, as many have suggested, was that all stage? Why were the back doors open? Being held by some flower pots. Did that go ahead? Was that originally supposed to be the way they were supposed to take her out? Jody says, I think the front door. Okay, and let us know what makes it seem like the front door other than the blood splatter. Carol says, I think the back door. Fill me in, guys. Tell me why you think what you think. Help me understand what you all think, because that's how we're going to make each other smarter. If it's the front door, is it because of the blood splatter at the front? Many have suggested this has been a stage. I don't believe it was staged, but many have suggested that. It could have been staged. Everything could have been planted. Nancy never came home. Or was it the back door? The doors were wide open. They were held open by her flower plant plots or whatever in the hell. Because there are two doors at the front door. Okay. There's two opening doors at the back. One at the kitchen and one at the gate. That's a very good point. That is a very good point, Jody. Maybe easier from the back door, understanding closer to Nancy's bedroom, and they realized how in bad shape she was. That is a very good point. No doubt about it. It's a very good point. Because her health was horrible. Her health was bad. I mean, think about it. How are we when we get woken up at 1, maybe 1:30 in the morning, if we are there at 1:30 in the morning? How are we when somebody comes and shakes us and says, hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, grandma, How do we respond? All startled? And then you got this person, crazy looking person looking at you, telling you, let's go, we're out of here. Jody says, I think they didn't want to struggle with her any more than they needed to. That is correct. I agree with that 110%, Jody. I agree with that 100%. It's almost like you don't even have to really strike her to get her discombobulated, right? She's already discombobulated. She can't really hear because she has no hearing aids on. According to the reports, the hearing aids were put with their phone, with her other devices on top of her dresser, right? So it's not like she could really hear. Bridget, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Bridget. I think she was scared to death, heart attack. That's a very good point. Very well could have been. I mean, hell, sometimes when my kids come and dad, and they startle me and I get up, man, I feel like, oh my God, I got to catch my breath to go, what the heck, man? Why are you coming up to me like that? You know, heart starts pounding. But for someone who's wearing a pacemaker because of her weak heart, it's very possible she could have had a heart attack right there. I don't know, but it's very possible. Carol, I think she was scared to death. You ever think about the possibility that when if she did have a heart attack, maybe that's why they didn't take her phone. That's why they didn't take her medications. That's why they didn't take anything because she was already gone. I mean, my God, that would scare the heck out of anybody. Yet somebody with a weak heart, that could have been the motive why nothing was taken. Then you ask the question, why did they take her? Why did they take her? If that happened, why did they take her? Exactly what I was thinking. Why would they have taken her? The only thing I can surmise of why they would have taken her, because they were in the cross of a plan that went totally wrong, or a plan that they were not expecting this and they just kind of like went with the flow, not understanding the dynamics. It would have probably been easier just to leave her there. Leave her there, don't touch nothing else, and get the hell out and dodge, right? No doubt. No doubt. But they didn't. They took her. Why did they take her? Now we get to the next step. That's a very good possibility, Carol. Very good possibility. But now let's go to that next step. What if she wasn't? What if she was alive? What if they did take her to the front door? Because we just looked at the backdoor case scenario, and the question we stumble at is, well, why did they take her? What was the reason? Wasn't that much contact, if any, right? They were probably all wearing gloves, right? If her blood pressure went up, she could have had a severe stroke too. Very possible. Very possible. No doubt about it, Bridget. But see, with Jody's point, literally, we had just stumbled right at the end when we're talking about it. We just stumbled on the fact that then why take the body if she did become unalive, if she had a heart attack? So that closes that right there at that point. Because I don't think there's any reason why you would take that body if she's unalive at that moment. So let's jump to the other case. And even Bridget was saying her blood pressure went so high that she could have had a severe stroke. Very true. Very true. So why not just leave, get out and dodge? This is not going the way we thought it was going to go from the very get-go. Kind of narrows that thought, right? So now let's go to the other scenario. The other scenario that was brought up literally by Carol. The front door. Okay, let's look at the front door. Then why prop the two doors in the back door open if they took her out the front door? Let's think about that for a minute. Just investigates. Did you watch AJ W today? No, I didn't watch AJ today. Fill us in if there's something worth telling. Let us know. Bridget, so true. If she was unalive, she couldn't be a witness against them. So why take her? No doubt about it, right? What's the point? And then Carol could have had a stroke, a heart attack or a stroke in the vehicle. Very possible. Very possible. I think they prepared the back door thinking possibly, then rethought also her safe possibility. They would have thought maybe going to try and get safe out of back, large standing safe. Very good point. A very good point. Maybe they said, man, but then they would have said what? They would have had to take two big objects, right? Because they still ended up taking her. So, on the combination of taking her out of the house, let's just say, for all sake of purposes, and then going and taking the safe. But the safe was still there, right? I mean, we don't know that, but no one has mentioned anything about the safe, so we're just going to assume the safe is still there. Maybe it was way too heavy if it was a big standing one. Maybe it was just too heavy. Impossible to get out because it's just too heavy. You would need a dolly or something or some strong individuals, right? AJ found a bone. Carol, have they determined what kind of bone it is by any chance? Did they even do they even know like maybe what it could have gone to as far as of a body? What type of bone of a body? Anything. Because it is possible, yeah. If he found a bone, and I didn't see it yet, but if he found a bone, could it be a body of a bone of a body? Bridget could have had a stroke, heart attack while going down the road, especially if she was that lady screaming. Very good point. Now we're getting somewhere. Carol, it's a human about 50 years old, said by police. Okay, 50 years old, so that's about 34 years away from Nancy, but still good find, no doubt about it. And I'm sure there's a lot of bones out there. I'm not trying to minimize it because I'm sure there's a hell of a lot of bones out there. Mary says they said the bone was checked and it's 50 years old. So definitely not the person we're looking for. Thankful they found it. Hopefully they'll get some DNA and figure out who this goes to. You know, hopefully. No, it's been there for 50 years. Okay, so the bone has been there for 50 years. Well, definitely not her, right? Definitely not her. The police came and experts looked at the bone and said it's 5 years old. All right. Okay, Bridget, that's good. That it's 5 years old. That it's been there for 5 years. I'm taking it. And Mary said it's 50 years. Bridget, ooh, sorry, 50. Okay, so it's 50-year-old bone. It's been there for 50 years, correct? Not that it's a 50-year-old. It's been there for 50 years. Well, they damnfully got a cold case, I would take, more than likely. Forget the zero. So that's what we have. We have, okay, good. And hey, like I said, it could end up solving and clearing a case where somebody may actually find out what happened to somebody they love. If they're able to get some DNA, who knows? Today's things, I'm sure they're able to get something. But now let's go back to Nancy. If she did go ahead and literally have a heart attack in the car, and the reason I say in the car because if they couldn't take her out the back door because she had a heart attack, then that closes the gap that why take her at all, right? So in the front there was blood. We just don't know how long that blood's been there. I think they estimated what 4, 5, 6 hours or something, possibly. On one of these streamers, I heard it's possible. They are saying they built a community over a graveyard. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Well, then there's going to be a lot of bones. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. There's going to be a lot of bones, more than likely. They are saying they built a community over a graveyard. I did not know. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So let's get back to Nancy. If she did pass in the vehicle, and maybe it was the woman that was screaming out of that blue vehicle, very possible, right? Very possible because the disconnection came during the same time she was taken. Okay. Do you still think she came out of the back door, or does that pretty much solve that? Did she come out of the front door? See, those are the little things that mean a lot. And we don't have those answers because they didn't give those answers to anybody. Now, you would think they would have asked even Annie and Tommaso, hey, when you guys arrived, where did you guys come in through the front or to the back? You would think they would have asked that, that simple question, right? We didn't hear anything. They are saying they built a community over a graveyard. Cap is in a house. One thing's for sure, she's definitely deceased. That's probably a safe bet there, Cap. No doubt about it. Or her door from her bedroom. Well, that door was closed, right? The only door that was open was the kitchen door that was propped open in the gate, right? The door you would think would be wide open is the one by her bedroom, right there in front of her bed. But that door was closed. So why are these other doors open? Did they come in through the back? The suspects? Did they come in through the back door? And if so, was that the intention to go at the back door, sneak in, go right from the kitchen, go into the kitchen, right to the bedroom? Because it's right next to her bedroom. And then say, hey, we're taking her out from here. You know what I mean? Cap said the same thing happened in 2016 in the same area. Interesting. Cap, so the media claims. Jody, I believe they did come in the back door. I'm believing they came in the back door as well. I don't think the front door was anything to do with the ruse or, hey, look over here, all that. I don't buy none of that. I think their intentions were literally to come out through the back door. And I feel like they came in through the back door because that's how they were going to leave. But when something went wrong, and something had to have gone wrong in that house, it would appear to me, if it wasn't staged, it would appear that they came out that front door because of the blood, right? So they came in the back door only for something to go wrong, and then felt like, oh God, just take her out the front door, right? Plans change. People start making decisions out of the blue. Well, because of no nads, we don't know anything. That is very true, Carol. Very true. So now, because it appears, and I do mean appears, that they came out the front door, was she unalive or was she alive? If she was snatched out of her bed, like Savannah said, looks like they chose the door in her bedroom. That would be faster to get her out. The door in her bedroom. Okay. Then why did they yank the camera off the front door? Why did they yanked the camera off. They took the camera off. Remember? The same camera, they took it off. The one they were trying to cover up and not look at the camera type of deal. They took it off, right? If she was snatched out of her bed like Savannah, yes. Jody, but was the front door shut when Tommy, see, and that's the thing we don't know. Was we don't know. You would think they would have answered that question. You think the cops would have said, hey, A, hey, T, when you guys got here, what did you see? Well, we called for our mom. Okay. Did you go in the house? Yeah. Okay. Which way did you go in? You would think they would have told her, right? She would have said, or he would have said, we went in through the front or we went in through the back. You think the cops would have asked. How is something so basic so complicated? I mean, your average cadet coming out of training at his academy knows you have to ask a question. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's somebody walked in your house, whether you walked in and something was missing, you would say, did you come in through the front or the back? Especially if you know the back doors were open, right? You find out the cop goes around think about this. The cop goes around the house, right? And he sees the doors open and he says, what the hell? So then he comes back and the first thing he says is, hey, did you guys come out the back door or did you guys come in the front door? That would be common sense, right? To think that they would have asked that. How hard is it to ask that question? And why or why not are they not given that answer? But was the front door open? Bridget, yeah. Why? A good question. Because it makes no sense. I get these are young officers. Don't misunderstand me. I totally understand that. And I'm not blaming anybody as far as officers. I'm not blaming them for being inexperienced. That comes with time. Okay? That comes with time. But that is so basic out of the academy. I go back, I see the back doors open. I say, hey, Mr. Tommaso, or Mrs. Tommaso, or whatever the hell they're going by. Hey, did you guys come in when you guys got here? Did you notice any doors open? Oh, yeah, the back doors are open. Okay, did you guys come in through there or did you come in through the front door? That's pretty basic, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Jody, because a perp or perps aren't going to close doors, in my opinion, if the back doors were propped open, Carol, maybe they weren't allowed to do their job. I mean, that's pretty simple, though, ain't it? Don't you think? I'll tell you, as law enforcement, that is really simple. That is so simple, it's not even funny. Did you come in through the front or did you come in through the back? I mean, if you can't establish asking the person who responded that got the phone call from the church, if you can't even ask that question, did you come in through the front or through the back? Man, there's more serious problems than that. Because thinking that that's the only thing that's wrong, there's a hell of a lot of things wrong in this department if that's that simple of a thing to ask and to ascertain, and you can't ask that question, it makes no sense. We know Nanos appears to be a micromanager. Everything he says goes the way he wants it to go. But the facts are simple. They're not that difficult. We don't know what they asked them. We can't even hear the 911 call. I get it. I totally get it. Yep, because first on the scene, they're looking or thinking an elderly that walked away, possibly demented. That is possible. But when the officer gets there and he says, yeah, what's going on? What do we have here? And they say, well, we can't find her mom, right? The officer is not going to go look for Annie and Tommaso. They're going to be right there when that cop gets there. And he's going to say, what do we got? Well, we can't find her mom. Okay, did you look around? Has she done this before? No. I'm giving you a conversation of how it would have went. More than likely. More than likely. I'm giving you an example of how that conversation would have went. Okay, so she hasn't done this before? No, she can't walk very well. She can't even go to the mailbox. Really? Okay, so let me look around here. Let me see. I'm the officer and I go looking around. I go into the door. Either I enter the front door because it's unlocked, right? Or I don't. I go looking around the house. I don't see nothing. I check the garage out. I don't see nothing. Hey, I noticed the two doors are open, holded up by planters. Okay. I then ask, hey, did you guys come in the back door or the front door? It's that simple. I think they called the sheriff, therefore there is no 911 call. That's very possible, Marianne. So let's look at that. If they called the sheriff, let's analyze that for a minute. If they ended up calling the sheriff directly, okay, and this was at like what, 2:30, 2:35, 2:40 in the morning? Why did the sheriff not get there till later on in the earlier morning or later morning, like 11 something or whatnot? Because he didn't get there right away. Why did it take him so long to get there then? That's not typical of a sheriff to go down there that quick, but it sure is if they're telling you, hey, what do you want us to do? 9 out of 10, he's probably going to say, well, see if you can find her. If not, call out the detectives. It's a Sunday. I almost guarantee you there's no way to get in hold of that man unless you call him directly. He's not going to be bothered on the weekend. Just not going to happen. And it's not just him. It's most sheriffs are pretty much like that. And did you prop the doors open or were they like that when you arrived? Absolutely. I mean, that's a common sense question. Another thing that baffles me is they say there is no evidence of break-in. So how did they get in? Have a key or Nancy recognize them and let them in? Very good question. And that's a very honest question that should be asked. Now, they're not going to know if Amy answered the door, but they're going to be able to see if there's anything that's wedged into the door frames, right? They're going to see if there's any breakage in the door frames. They're going to see if there's any problems, if there's broken glass, if there's anything out of the norm. So you would think that would be a normal question to ask, right? Angela, hello again, Double Dog. How you doing, Angela? Welcome in. So see, that's the whole issue that I'm having, is that we don't even know where Andy and Tommaso came in through, yet alone we don't know what happened, and we're not probably going to know what happened with Nancy because until we catch or they catch the perp or the people that did this, right? And that's understandable. Until they catch them, they're not going to know exactly what happened. But what door you came in to check for your mom, I mean, that's pretty standard. Marianne, well, think about it. If it's a relative, they would have a key, therefore no break-in. Well, that's true. So did they tell the cops they came in through the front door? Marianne, did they tell the cops they came through the front door? So we don't know that, do we? So what becomes very simple, to think that that would be something, pretty common. I mean, I would agree with you. That sounds very plausible. Then why are they not saying which way did Tommaso and Annie came in? How hard is this to say that? See, because specifics is everything, especially when you're dealing with a case like this. Not just the case, the magnitude of the case. The high drama is going to draw attention to the case. Every detail needs to be recorded. And I don't mean recorded on a recorder. I mean needs to be asked. It needs to be stated. Okay? So if that's the case, Marianne, it's not about, like we could think about it and go, yeah, well, it's pretty common sense. Is it? If it is, then how come they didn't tell us which way they came in, being Annie and Tommaso? Bridget, yes. Did they have to unlock the door with the key or was it left open? Exactly. Now, if it was left open, then anything is plausible, right? Anything is plausible. They don't need to worry about the back door. I still ask the question, why put the planters in the back if you're going to come out through the front? But now you're in a whole different realm of possibilities. But if the door was locked and Annie and Tommaso got there and they didn't even have a key, or did they have a key? I mean, if you get a call saying, hey, your mom wasn't there, we're kind of worried something might have happened, they might have said, shoot, and said other words and said, let's go over there right now and find out. They could have just got on Dodge. Now, they could have just got on Dodge to go to Nancy's. They might have had her key to her door on their key ring of the car. Very possible, I would think. Or have the key in the car somewhere. Or they could have had it at their house and only did it when it was necessary. See, all those unanswered questions are what brings all this dilemmas into the foil. Literally. Because there's no clarity. There's no clarity whatsoever. They left everything that you would think is normal common sense out the window. Everything. They told us nothing. Zero. Zilch. What is it going to hurt for them to say, Nanos to say, it appears that when the daughter and the son-in-law arrived here, when they got the call and they arrived here, they unlocked the front door and went in. And in the process of going in, they were yelling for their mom and their mother-in-law. And as they went further and further to the back of the house where the bedroom was at, they noticed the two doors in the front were open. That's pretty standard. You're not compromising any case. It's not like you're going, well, we can't tell them that the back doors were open because only the perps are going to know. No, not only the perps are going to know, because somebody had to respond to the call. And that was, in this case, the call that came in from the church. Mom didn't show up. We're worried. Right? Somebody had to get there. So then the question is, why are they being so secretive of those answers? Just makes no sense. Angela says, I agree. Bridget says, because of no evidence of break-in, that's one of the reasons I say it doesn't sound like a burglary or robbery. There's no doubt in my mind, Bridget. I agree with you 110%. This was not a burglary and this was not a robbery. This was nothing more than a kidnap for ransom, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's what it was. That's what it points to be. A kidnapping, a planned kidnapping for ransom that went wrong. Terribly wrong. So there was no break-in. Because if they did their homework right, they would have probably said, well, let's check the doors first. Maybe it's unlocked. It's like the bad guy going in there trying to unlock the door and instead he locks the door, right? He gets his little tools, as they call them, and he starts to do that front door and then, oh, wait a minute, we just locked the door, right? I mean, it makes no sense. But I get back to why the sheriff is not saying, yes, when at the arrival, when A and T arrived, they went ahead and they got here. The front door was locked. They got out their key. They unlocked it. They walked in and yada, yada, yada. How hard is it to be specific? Instead of not even say any of that, just say, yes, it appears like this was something could be going wrong. What the hell is that? It's crazy how little we know, no doubt about it. And see, that's the problem. When you're out there and you're trying to piece this together, when you're people like us trying to make sense, it's hard to make sense. And that's why you have 120,000 theories on what could have happened. It makes no sense. And that's the problem, everybody. That is the problem. Get down, bandit. That is the problem, literally. Either you go ahead and you know, and you're told what little bit you can tell. I mean, you're not going to say, yeah, so we found blood here and we found blood there, and there was a couple arms and limbs that were over there. You're not going to say all that stuff, right? No need to say all that. Just say, hey, it looks like something terribly went wrong in here. Simple as that. But you can't even say that. Like, what the hell is going through his mind where he can't even state the very minimal, obvious, minimal thing? It is pathetic. And the more we talk about this, and the more that I keep seeing all these things that are not being done, or weren't being told, or weren't letting the people know, they're not things that are going to compromise the case. I'm not expecting him to tell us exactly how everything was in that house so that he could go ahead and use that from the people who are trying to get a demand on a ransom or whatnot. I'm not expecting him to give us the case so that he literally causes a case to get thrown out because of some of the comments he made. I'm asking the bare bone minimum. And yet we don't even have the bare bone minimum. It makes no sense, everybody. No sense. And then wonder why the theories come out. Well, maybe he's involved. Maybe this is a cover up from Nanos. Well, what else would he expect people to think? Nanos gets released from his job today. Yay, he got released. He is no longer there. Justin, are you serious? They asked for the public's help, yet give us nothing to work with. No doubt about it, Angela. Jody, exactly. Justin, are you serious that they did get rid of him today or he left today? Bridget, he's keeping us in the dark about every important thing. It won't hurt the case to answer the base. It won't hurt the case at all. Marianne, I didn't hear that, Justin. Yes, IA told him to be fired or resign. There you go. Well, let's see where this goes. It'll go to court, but I'm sure he's going to end up losing, no doubt about it. If that is correct, then that's probably what's going to happen. But back to the Nancy thing. This is why it's so important he resigned. Yeah, that was the only move he had to save his pension, no doubt about it. So why didn't they give this information? Instead of leaving everybody out in the loop. What did you protect? Thank you. Appreciate that. That's the link for it. Thank you. Nanos is gone, says Bridget. I hope it's true. Well, let me just Google this real quick. Hang on a second, everybody. Hang on a second. Trying to check here. See if I see anything here. So, Bridget, really, Nano's gone. I hope it's true. All right, let's go here then. Hang on, everybody. This is for your all's benefit as well as mine. April, how do you know a human bone is 50 years old in 30 minutes with 20 minutes finding it and taping it off? All BS in my opinion. That's a good point there, April. No doubt about it. Tegan said hi. How you doing, Tegan? Okay, so now let's do this. All right, so now let's go here. All right, all right. Let's see if we get it right here. All right, they should talk about it here in a minute, so I'll keep you guys looking. Bridget, wishing they could replace Nanos with someone like Sergeant Cross. No doubt about it, Bridget. I agree. April, I was wondering the same thing. Good question. Jody, yes, I forgot. I forgot till last night. I watched the Juice on his replay. The FBI took the camera down from the side of the roof. No idea what was on it, I guess. Thank you for letting us know that, Jody. Appreciate that. April, I don't believe that at all. I mean, it don't make any sense, but it's possible, I guess. Melissa, hey, just for the sake, Cross needs to be the new sheriff. Just watch Anton recent video. Cross cares, Nanos doesn't. That's what it appears to me too. No doubt about it. I have the news on. If you hear a little bit in the background, it's just that. I just got the news on, seeing if they will. Actually, I probably should go to. Just leave it there. So yeah, see, that's where everything's at. So then you ask the question, why couldn't you tell us anything? I mean, anything. Because they told us nothing. Zero. And that's why you have so many theories out there. That's why you have so many people that are going all over the place with this information, because they have no idea what the hell is happening. Ralph is in the house. Said hi. How you doing, Ralph? If you are new to the channel, please subscribe if you like the channel. Help everybody become smarter. Thank you for being here, Ralph. I haven't heard Nanos was fired, says Carol. I got it on the news right now. It's on silent mode, but I have it there. So if I see it come out in the bottom, I'll definitely let y'all know. Ooh, Ross, Semper Fi, Ralph. Semper Fi, Devil Dog. Bridget, true, Melissa. I wish he was fired, says Melissa. So that's what we got going on. It's just, why did they not give us any information? Now let's move on. Do you think that it is possible? It is possible in your heart of hearts. Do you believe that this was something that was staged, or you think this was something that literally just went out of whack because something went wrong? When was Kayla arrested? It was February the 12th. And Daly was then taken in on February the 13th, Friday the 13th. Jody says he'll resign to not lose pension. That's what I'm thinking. That'd be the smart move for him. Actually, I take that back because I think it's a misquote from an earlier publication referring to his previous resignation. Okay, got you. Okay, not true, everybody. It doesn't seem like it's true. I believe it just went wrong. So do I, Justin. So do I, big time. Tegan says, went wrong. Totally agree. Melissa, at this point, I don't know what to think. It's so crazy. This case, Nano is talking. I'm sorry, no one is talking. Now you could have fit Nano in there too, because he ain't talking either. Jody went wrong. See, that's what I'm thinking. Everybody's pretty much in the same line for the most part so far, that it definitely went wrong. Something went wrong. The key is going to be, at what point did she become unalive, right? Was she in the car? You know, good job, says Ralphie. You got it, Ralphie. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. So now you're looking at the fact of, if it went wrong, did she go unalive in the car or unalive in the house? Sometimes it looks like something went wrong, but I wonder if anything was staged. I mean, that's a possibility. Some people have stated that. This case has more theories than a physics professor. Oh, God, no doubt. No doubt. Ralph says, good questions. See, the whole idea, honestly, is that the timeline from her disconnection of her pacemaker to her phone was at the same time that we had all these other anomalies happen. They all were in that same realm. You remember the lady screaming in the car? That was in that same time frame. Remember the guy that was reaching in the back, looked like he wanted to throw one of the backpacks over the top of the fence? Same time. He was only zero point 0.4 miles away from Nancy's house. Okay. Then you have the white car that was hauling ass that came through there at that same circle of time. You have all these different anomalies that have happened. You have all these different things that have happened, and they all can't be coincidence. Could be both, says Bridget. I did, Angela. Didi, have you seen Juice's new video where it appears that there is a car in the driveway behind the porch guy in the shadows? I honestly, I just haven't seen it yet, but I'll look at it. I promise I will look at it. Thank you. Tegan, this case has more theories. Ralphie, good questions. Bridget, could it be both? It very well could. Angela, Marianne said, I did see that car in the back, or that video from the juice. April, I think Perch tried to set up someone and Kayla and family member involved, in my opinion, and Nano covered it up. Very possible. Very possible. Hell, you can't put nothing past anybody of those people. Marion, it sure looked like a car in the driveway. Do we have a color of that car by any chance, or is it just kind of that grayish photo color? Marion, yes, it definitely looks like a car. Okay. I have to, is that on Juice's last live? Is that on the Juice's last live? Yes. Okay. I will look at that. I will look at that. Thank you, Marianne. Appreciate that. Angela, I agree, Marianne. Yes, last live. Thank you. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate that. So, see, that's where we're at now. So, could it have been, does any one of you think it could have been her in the blue car that was screaming for help? Let's ask that question. Do you think it could have been her in the blue car yelling for help, when then somebody probably whacked her in the head and that unalived her? Marianne says no. No, you don't think that could have been her. Okay. Is there a reason, or is just a no because no? Bridget, very possible, says Bridget. I agree with very possible. What makes you think it might not be that way, Marianne? Any rationale thought? Sounded like Kitty said hello. Yeah, Kitty's been saying hello. He got in a fight with another cat that was outside, and now it's like no more outside, cat. And that's what everybody's saying here in the house. Marianne, just a feeling. I got you. It's possible. It's possible that it wasn't, and it sure as hell. I mean, it would fit the narrative. Blue car going by, woman screaming for help. Nancy was abducted during that same time frame. Sure makes sense. I mean, in my opinion, it makes sense because it happened around the same time Nancy was taken. Absolutely, Bridget. My first thought was it was Nancy screaming in the car. That was my first thought too, Angela. April, considering the timing of the 911 call, I'm going to say yes. I mean, there you go. Tegan, my memory is blurred, but I think the police checked the car out, screaming lady. They did check the car. That's not to say that it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. What if they knew, literally, because of the fact that they heard her screaming, somebody got, telling them in the back to shut her up. That's why I'm thinking she may have had a heart attack because somebody whacked her, like hit her in the face or told her to shut up. I could see someone saying, "Shut up, bitch." Kapow. Next thing you know, she goes unalive. They throw the body at a spot where no one's going to tell because they know they have a scanner, more than likely. If they're on top of things, they're going to have a scanner, and they know a call was made to 911. So they get rid of the body. Now, depending on the timing and when they were stopped is going to speak volume. Depending on when the car was stopped from the 911 call, that's going to speak volume. Nano says nothing related to Nancy. Not a damn thing. Lisa Page says hi. Melissa, Lisa, hi. It just don't make no sense. But it does make sense that someone screaming from a blue car could have well been Nancy. And you got to remember the people that literally, the people that car, that blue car that was driving by with the lady yelling for help, they did stop that car. Okay, but you got to remember is Nancy at that point wasn't known to be missing yet. It didn't get reported till like 11:30, 11:36, somewhere in that time frame. So this happened at early morning. So they would have not known anybody was missing. So the idea that they were looking for Nancy wasn't even a thought in their mind. Tegan says, I never thought of that. Jody, the main theme quote from Pete McConnell, almost any time we think relatively, they say not related. No doubt, Jody. Not related for everything. Down, Bandit. It easily could have been the blue car in the driveway. The blue car in the driveway. Behind the porch guy. Very true. It could have been, no doubt. My point is, you can't just eliminate these ideas because the reality is that maybe they didn't see a person dressed in her pajamas with no shoes sitting in the back seat. Maybe they just saw three people in the car. Hell, we wouldn't even know that because they don't even tell us who was in the car. Kind of like I'm on live right now. Wait, I love you, bud. It's easy. It could have been the blue car in the driveway behind the porch guy. Very well could have been. Kind of like the double backpack guy wasn't questioned like he should have been, in my opinion. Totally agree. Totally agree. The owner has to come out and say, that guy doesn't live here. That guy doesn't live here. I mean, it's like, I get it. Officers get tired, but like, really? There's no doubt in my mind that that man was in question like he should have been. And he was only a short distance away from Nancy's house. Bridget, exactly, Jody. It's like they don't want to give you nothing because everybody is in cahoots with everybody. That's what it appears. Let me grab a water. Hang on a second. Dee Dee, do we know how far that car was reported from Nancy's? I think it was on a street over. April, I think it was a street over. It wasn't on the same street. It was like a street over. Which, if there was a car parked down the road and they were able to get her in that vehicle and take off, it's very possible. There's so many roads back there. It wasn't right in front of the house. It was like the street over, to my understanding. So it's very much in play. No doubt. It is very much in play. Angela says, we have to remember they treated this like a woman who wandered off at first. Correct. So saying the screaming woman in the car wasn't related to Nancy wouldn't surprise me coming from them at that time. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, look, everybody, I don't like saying anything bad or knocking police or anybody for that matter who doesn't deserve it. I don't like to question anything or anyone if that's what they really feel. But I think for me, I'm asking the question, why are they just not giving so much? Why are they not giving enough information for at least people to understand what the hell is happening? Why are you allowing people to have all of these different conclusions and different thinking process and different things just because you want to keep everybody what on their heels? Why? Why would you want to keep everybody off their heels? I mean, the people that are going to help you are the people that literally can help you, which is the citizens. Fan says, Devil Dog, maybe she was in the trunk of the car with the man and woman driving, and the woman like, I want out. That's very possible, Fan. That's a very good. Hell, I get more positivity from you guys. I get more literally information from all you in the chat than we get from the sheriff's department. Think about that for a minute. We can come up with things that are so plausible and almost spot on because you guys are thinking, literally thinking of how to put this together without having much information. And yet you look at the sheriff's department, you can't get nothing. I mean, zero. That's pathetic, but you're spot on, fan. That's exactly what it could be. She could probably been in the trunk. The lady in the back could have said, hey, officer, everything's fine. There was no hitting. We're all good. Blah, 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 blah. It was just my boyfriend's being a jack, and this, that, and the other. And he looks in the light in the car. Okay, no contact, no contact. 23 headquarters, be advised. Make contact with that vehicle, 10-8. And all that time, she could have been in the trunk, or she could have been laid somewhere under a bush the whole time. And I bet that officer didn't even write down who the people were. I bet he didn't even take the names down. I bet he couldn't even tell you right now how many were in the vehicle. That's so sad. So true, fans. So true for all of you in the chat. No doubt. I know I don't know her personally, but I can see Nancy screaming and giving them hell as she was still. I believe that wholeheartedly, Bridget. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I would expect nothing less from that. No doubt. April says, no explanations. All we get is not related. Nancy, every freaking report. No doubt. It's pathetic. Angela, Bridget, I believe she would have if able to. No doubt it 100%. Angela, the juice makes a circle around what appears to be a car in a driveway. Shadows in his video. Okay, I will take a look at that in his last live. I will definitely look at it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So that's the whole point, everybody. You guys are coming up with these questions and ideas and suggestions based on common sense. Common sense. And yet you have a sheriff that's supposed to have all the answers that is given nothing. Absolutely nothing. Either he knows nothing, he's not smart enough to know nothing, or that man is clueless. I don't know. I don't know. But even you guys here get me to think outside my box by the questions you're asking. You guys get me to think by all the questions you guys are asking because they're very reasonable and they're very plausible. Where when I listen to the sheriff, I'm lost. He makes me lost. He makes me feel like, oh God, like nothing really happened. Like this was just a nightmare for the family. Kudos to you all. No doubt about it. Fan, it's all related. All these dates and people, you can't ignore it. No doubt about it, fan. The reality is, you can't even, you would have coincidence to last you a lifetime if all these anomalies that were happening are all coincidence. It has nothing to do with the case. That has nothing to do with the case. Oh, yeah, that had nothing over here. I mean, it's like, really? Well, then what the hell does have to do with the case? Oh, we don't know. Unbelievable. Bridget, we know she was strong willed and sharp as a tack. People who knew her said that. Absolutely. Hell, even Nanos said she's not really mobile, but she is sharp as a tack. And now he says what? Nothing. Zero. And as Marianne says, I don't know. Hey, Nanos, what happened? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's so pathetic. Hey, I made it. All right, Falls. Good to have you. He said that. He sure did, Bridget. And he probably said this. I don't know. What happened, Mr. Nanos? I don't know. I'm sorry, man. It's a joke. I have never seen something that was so pathetic as I have seen how this case has been played out. I'm sorry, I just haven't. I don't know. You guys are going to ask me a question. I'm going to go, I don't know. I don't know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to think anymore. I have no idea. Take him. Falls, he will have to be the best behavior now. I don't know if that's even possible, to be honest. No doubt about it, Tegan. Yes, sir. The notes on the yellow poster board. DGL found and Richard No led the lake. They could check the lake. Not difficult. That is 100% fact. No doubt about it, Jody. You want to eliminate that theory? Let's go check the lake. How hard is it? How really hard is it? Somebody ought to tell Nanos, you don't have to go in the water. Somebody else is going to go in the water. You don't have to do anything. Just sit there. Pull up the lawn chair and sit there. That's all you got to do. You don't have to do any work. Let the dive team do the work. That's why they're called a dive team. Let them go in there. Laughing out loud, Tegan. Unbelievable. Clip it. It's just, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh my God. If he doesn't know what the hell's going on and he's the sheriff, how in the hell does anybody know what's going on? Why would they not check the lake? Makes no sense. Maybe because they'll find another bunch of bones in the lake and they're afraid. They're afraid of what it's going to look like to their city that they having a hard time, or not their city, but their rural area, because that's what the sheriff covers is the county, the rural areas that they can't keep people safe. Is that what they're worried about? My God. It's pathetic. It is very pathetic. I'm not saying that she's there. I'm saying if you want to prove that she's not there, rake the lake. How hard is it? This case is one big cluster, yes, with the capital F-U-K, yes. I crossed Richard off my list, says Marianne. You know, we haven't heard anything about Richard, which was probably a good thing that we haven't heard anything about Richard, because that means maybe people are still alive and not unalive, no doubt. That is a good thing. I haven't crossed them off my list at all, Miriam, but I understand where you're coming from. Absolutely. Bridget, they're probably afraid they'll find a graveyard down there, right? No doubt. Tegan, the way he behaves, it's like an open invitation for criminals to go to Tucson. Hey, I know. Go to Tucson. If you want to make millions and billions, go to Tucson. And that doesn't even have to belong to you. You can just take it. That's what it sounds like, man. That's what it sounds like. And I hate saying that, but it's so true. The way he behaves. KB is in the house. Nanos acts like he thinks he's the king. He said he wouldn't allow us to drive a wedge between his agency and look what's happened. I put the looks what happened because Kay said, what? And I said, yeah, and look what has happened. That whole department has a wedge between his officers and him because they can't even stand and believe what the hell is happening. You know why? Because as an officer, I'm going to tell you, it makes everyone looks bad. And nobody wants to be in that position working there as a deputy or as a jailer or any association with that sheriff's department of Pima County. Nobody wants to be associated with it. Why? Why would you want to be associated with something so negative? I mean, the officers have spoken. You got a 241, I believe, 241 vote of no confidence. Yeah, it's time to go. It's pretty simple. There were 31 missing kids found in Arizona yesterday. Unreal. April, Kayla has not been released. No, not at all. No bail. I can't help thinking that they are holding her for a reason. No doubt about it. Bridget, yep, look, you can do whatever you please and get away with it in here. Tucson. That's what it sounds like to me is an open invitation for everybody to come back. Whoever is got a conviction, hey, come back here. You'll be safe. Just keep doing your crimes and you'll be okay. That's what it appears to me. Fan, yes, April, but they left. L. Go with all those charges. That is true. Kay says, be right back. All right, Kay. We'll be waiting. It just doesn't make any sense, everybody. I wish I could give you guys more positivity. Oh, let me clear something up real quick for everybody. On this earlier chat today, I need to clear this up real quick. So, April had asked a question about, and I want to clear this up because I had my thinking wrong as well. So I want to clarify, and I want you all to hear. So, April, is it April? No, it was oh God. Wow. Who's the other mod? Who's our other mod? Is it April? Um, Alley Cat. Thank you. Alley Cat. Alley Cat had asked a question about getting video cams. Okay, if why doesn't Pima County Sheriff's Office subpoena or put a I think she said put a I think she said why can't they get a search warrant or a subpoena to go ahead and get from the camera from the video cam from Sue Ellen. And I said, well, you can't just go to the house and just take someone's camera. That's why they asked everybody. But I looked that up there today after we got off of live. And yes, you actually can go ahead and ask for a subpoena. You can ask for a subpoena to go ahead and get that. What it's kind of like a hairy situation. You can go ahead and request a subpoena to have her hand over her camera if you can articulate why that camera could be in help in solving a crime that was committed in that area. So basically, it's going to come down to who writes better. If you can go ahead, if the officer can articulate why he wants that video cam and why he believes that that video cam could, and there's a key, could contain information related to a case, and it's in that neighborhood, yes, she would have they would have no problem issuing a subpoena to go ahead and get that from Sue Ellen. That is a fact. I looked it up and it is right. So in more ways than not, Alley Cat was right in that. So I just want to give her kudos because she was right in that. The fact of the matter is, the subpoena is less of a threshold to me than an actual search warrant. A search warrant, you got to have total probable cause. Okay? Whereas a subpoena, you just have to be able to articulate why you feel that camera could have a vehicle passing by. It could have somebody in that vehicle that lives in that neighborhood that came by there, and more than likely they would issue you a subpoena to get that camera, and then there's nothing Sue Ellen could do. So kudos, literally. She was right, no doubt about it. But it has to be articulated. It still has to have something to do with the case, right? You can't just say, hey, I want your camera because I think it might have something bad in it. That doesn't fly. But if you can say, hey, Your Honor, on such date, this happened to this person, and there was cars in the area, and we're looking for this type of person with this type of stature, and we're looking for X, Y, and Z, they could say, we really think it's a possibility that car is in that camera or could be in that camera. We'd like to get a subpoena because the person doesn't want to give it up. And that judge would most likely go ahead and literally issue you that subpoena to get that camera. Now we'll move on. I just wanted to clear that for everybody. Fall says, April, apparently she got busted with drugs in jail. It was drugs, and I thought it was like weapons, a drugs and weapons charge. Or drugs and paraphernalia. Yeah, maybe it was that, but I thought it had to do also with weapons. April, okay. Fall, I didn't see that, thanks. You welcome. Marianne Falls, I heard she was moved to prison. It's Perry. I looked it up. It was like, they said they moved her to like Perrysville, Tucson, or Perryman, Tucson, something like that. Yeah, it was a weapons charge. I know she has a weapons charge, yes. She was, Marianne. Some of Sue Ellen's cameras are pointing toward Nancy's house. And that was another thing when I read, is that they did say, Bridget, they did say when I was reading the statutes, they did say that especially, and that's what got me, if a camera was facing toward the direction of where cars could have come by like towards the street, then absolutely they could issue a subpoena. So yeah, why Nanos hasn't done that is beyond me. Maybe he doesn't want to rub her the wrong way, I guess. I don't know. Yes, thank you, Falls. Perryville Prison. Yes. Yep, that's it. April, thanks to Olive for being here. You are awesome and make this chat very interesting. I know I read that L crashed his car a week before Nancy was missing, but was it still drivable? Yeah, that's a good question, Marianne. That's a very good question. Appreciate that. Nano's such a dumbass, without a doubt. No doubt. That's a capital D, too. No doubt. But did you guys hear what I said about the subpoena and literally about the subpoena and the warrant, the differences of it? Okay. And Alley Cat did have a good point there. The only thing I would say to Alley Cats is that you have to go ahead and be able to articulate why that has something to do with the case. And in more than not, you're going to get a subpoena in your favor to go ahead and get whatever you need as far as the camera. So if you guys see her, talk to her, see her in other chats, let her know, hey, Dog did tell us all about that. And yeah, he said you were right. You just got to be able to articulate it. Give her kudos where kudos are due. April, dumb or dumb as a fox. Yes, happy you can subpoena it. Yeah, now I don't know why he's not subpoenaing it, to be honest. And his car was a Charger, right? Yes, that is correct, Marion. His was a blue Charger. They said that the lady said it was a dark blue vehicle of the lady screaming, and they said it looked like it could be I thought she said a Malibu. I thought she said a Malibu, which when you look at a Malibu and you look at a Charger, at nighttime, that's easy to kind of fit the narrative there, no doubt. Yeah, I seen the front picture of the car as much as you could see with the blue tarp on it. Yeah, it was definitely not drivable. I don't think. Bridget is starting to think Nanos isn't going to do anything unless he's forced to. Oh, they need to force him to say adios, amigo. And they need to tell him, we're not taking it. I don't know. I don't know. We're not taking that no more. The people in the county that he represents deserves better than that. Okay? They deserve better than that. That's why he's lost confidence. That's why the people have lost confidence in him, literally. Just for whatever it's worth. So, I don't like bashing other police departments. I don't like bashing law enforcement because I know it's a hard job. It's a very tough job. A lot of split second decisions and a lot of things you have to do just right. There's no room for error, especially in today's world. There's no room for error. But the fact is a fact. The man has literally not done anything. Has not done anything to give people the peace of mind, especially the people that he serves. Starting to think, yes. No doubt, everybody. No doubt. So, with all these different anomalies, remember that one guy that I told you, I think it was on Sleuth's channel, that did a call in and said that he wasn't a girl, or he wasn't a lady. I'm not a girl. He said, yeah, I'm not a girl, when they were talking about the poor person looking like it could be a girl. And he called in and said, I am not a girl. And they were like, huh? And he said, I am not a girl. Okay? I'm not a girl. The person on the front camera, I'm not a girl. That was interesting. That was very interesting. Almost like it slipped. Angela, they probably wouldn't have voted him in if he had told the truth about his record and suspensions, no doubt. Frickin' Lopez says false. Frickin' Lopez, no doubt. Just the idea to say that. I am not a girl, everybody. Stop saying that she looks like a girl. I'm not a girl. Think about that one. Think about that for a minute. I mean, I would have been like, it's him. And then he kind of looks a little bit funky looking, like he could be the perp. All he seems to care about is his fancy sports car and going to the gym, egomaniac. That's what it appears to me, my friends. That's what it appears to me. No doubt. Angela, would we know male or female with all that gender changing going on these days? No, I don't know. I would say probably not. But the fact of the matter is for him to literally say, I am not a girl, instead of saying, that doesn't look like a girl to me on that picture, to say, I am not a girl. Well, no one said you were. Oh, wait a minute. He's saying, I am the perp. I am not a girl. He didn't say it doesn't look like a girl. He said, I, and he said it like twice, 2 or 3 times, I am not a girl. So many guys with that last name, it started driving me nuts looking for that right one, no doubt. There's so many people that fit the scope of the narrative of the individual. So many people. It's not even funny, everybody. There's so many. It's like they all look alike, like they're all related, like they all know each other, like they're in this one group. It's just crazy. Bridget, yes, I think he accidentally slipped up by saying I am not a girl. I mean, who does that except somebody who really is pissed? Because he sounded like he was kind of ticked. He sounded like he was ticked off. I watched it and I was like, holy moly, I am not a girl. The person in the porch is not a girl. I am not a girl. And they were like, huh? What's your name, sir? And then he gave him the name. He's probably still thinking about I am not a girl that he gave his name to everybody. I mean, can you make this shit up? Unbelievable. And has anybody even followed up on that? And I don't mean anybody of you, because I know you guys are on top of things. I'm saying, has anybody in the sheriff's department or investigators, has anybody even looked into that? I would say probably not. Falls, Kalea's wife or girlfriend eyes kind of look like Porch Girl. I haven't seen a picture of his wife. I have to look at that. I have not seen one. Thanks for letting me know, because I'll definitely go ahead and check it out. Bridget, he sounds offended by people saying the perp is a girl. Like, yeah, like you just challenged my manhood by saying I'm a girl. Fan says the circle justice for Nancy. Amen. Well said. Well said. Unreal. Well, everybody, tomorrow is, thank God it's Friday. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Time to just readjust and almost there for the weekend. Unbelievable. But yeah, there's something up with Sue Ellen, as far as, in my opinion, as far as trying to keep everything hush hush, trying to not let anything out, almost like trying to nip everything she can to make this just go away. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And the fact of the matter is, people are not going to not stop going there because there's no flowers. They'll just keep putting new flowers, and then they'll come and take them, and they'll put new flowers, and they'll come and take them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I said, if you're going to bring a flower or you're going to bring a flower pot, think about getting a 2-for-1 deal so you can put one in front of her house so she can be happy and feel special. Please don't add more names. I'm confused enough, says Mary Ann. I hear you. I started to be confused myself, no doubt. Yeah, this has been a pretty good chat, no doubt. Always count on you guys to deliver some good info. Like I said, you guys keep me on my toes and you keep me literally informed and you keep me always, like always giving me new information that gives me to go and look and see. I know I give you a lot of information, but you guys help me just as much. So thank you all. I appreciate you guys. Fall says, I sent you a pic of DD. Oh, Lord. Okay. Not me. I don't know. You guys are funny, man. Yes, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I have a very bad feeling about Sue Ellen. She should be looked into. I mean, she does carry herself like she would be a person of interest, no doubt about it. Fall says, I still say those eyes are of a woman. Angela, Marianne, Pamela in the house. Hi, Devil Dog and everyone. Good to have you, Pamela. Marianne, learning one way, but now. I was leaning one way, but now, I don't know. D Kim on DGL when they were helping a stuck truck. A woman in a car pulled up, and for a second, he thought Sue Ellen to Colorado. That's good. That is good. Oh, wow. He thought, is that Sue Ellen? Oh, wouldn't that be a nightmare from hell? No doubt about it. That would be a nightmare from hell. Oh, wow. Bridget, maybe get a close up of Sue Ellen's eyes and put them beside Burp's eyes. No doubt. Marianne, that was funny. Oh, yeah, right? No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Maybe we should. Maybe we should go ahead and just call the porch guy a girl for now on because that's what it looks like to us. Who knows who that might offend? Lopez. But it does look like a girl. It does look like a girl from the eyes, no doubt in the eyebrows and it's just that distinguished look. Pamela, the leg bone found today by a YouTuber searching for Nancy was determined to be 50 years old or older. That's interesting. Now, when you guys say 50 years old or older, does that mean that you guys are saying it's been there buried for 50 years? Or are you saying it's a 50-year-old bone, like 50 years of age? I just want to clarify that because I want to make sure I know what the hell I'm thinking in my head. If anybody knows, tell me what you mean. We were telling him it was Sue Ellen's sister. Pamela, they didn't even take it to rule out a missing person from the 70s or before. Been there 50 years. Okay, that's a hell of a long time. My God. That could have been back in, geez, 50. So that was there 50 years. So let's go 50 years from there. And let's say this person was like 90. Hell, you'd be back in the Depression era. Damn, that's old. That could be very old. Or it could be very young. No, not necessarily young, but it could definitely be very old. Interesting. Paul says, been there. Oh, Lord, that is funny. That is funny. Fan says, and it's still there. They came out, looked at it, and said, "Oh, that's been there for 50 years. Just leave it there." It's, I'm sorry, man. I should be laughing, but it's like it's an artifact. Leave it there. Don't take nothing. It's supposed to be there. Oh my Lord. Marianne, she sure remind me of Sue Ellen. Falls. How does one determine that by just looking at it? So get me going. Paige says law enforcement left them on there. Why worried about it? It's been 50 years. Let it sit there for another 50 years. you know, if no one cared about the first 50 years, why would anybody care about the next 50 years? I think they were waiting for someone else to come and get the bone. Oh my Lord. You can't make this up. You would think at least someone would stay there. I mean, it could be somebody of a missing person. You'd think somebody would stay there, an officer would stay there and wait till if somebody was coming, just to tag it and bag it. I mean, that just goes with the job. Instead of, hey, look at this coordinates, put it on your GPS, and it'll take you right to this spot. I gotta go. Unreal. The bone AJ found was in same position after they all showed up. How did that confirm it was 50 years old? Woo! Oh, don't get me started, man. Oh, false. Hey, you guys, oh, don't get me started. AJ went back and looked. It was in the same spot. Maybe it was crooked a little bit. That came from a broken kneecap, or that came from a femur, or that came. Oh, I don't even know how big this thing was. Watch it be like a little pebble or something. A little pebble this big. Unreal. Yes, everyone in AJ's chat was shocked. They left the bone there. That is so funny. They looked down. They took down the yellow tape. Now reminds me of how they took it down at Nancy's before the investigation was done. Oh, they probably took like a mile radius for this one little bone. They took a mile of tape and said, "Now run it that way. Put a stake and run it that way. Put a stake," and they cordoned off this big old section for that little bone. Well, yet Nancy's house, it's like it wasn't that important. It's not that important. Unreal. The Three Stooges, no doubt about it, false. Uh, Mo, Shemp, and Larry, and Joe. There was actually four if you think about it. But the Three Stooges, Mo, Larry, and Curly. And then they had at one time Mo, Larry, and Curly. And they did have, remember, they had a guy named Shemp. They had a guy named Shemp. I think it was an Indian guy, real tall. And then they had a guy named Joe. Unbelievable. But they really just went with the Three Stooges was Mo, Larry, and Curly. Oh, God. Kay says that's offensive because of the missing persons from the 70s. Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. They should have had somebody stay there and wait for them to come pick up this bone and tag it, and then go ahead and try to research it and see where, if you could pull anything with today's technology of DNA, maybe you could pull something. I mean, it's very possible. And that's why I'm saying that. It's just pathetic that they would just leave it there and say, "Oh, just leave it there. It's okay." Or what? Maybe they didn't say it's okay. Like, "Oh, somebody else will come get it." Yeah, George, go ahead and drop me off that coordinates. I'll stop there and pick it up on my way home. I got to get breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever. Makes no sense, people. Makes no sense. Yes, they left a bone there, said there's a historic gravesite in the area and don't want the remains disturbed until the next dog goes through and carries it out. Oh, Jesus God, stop. I'm ready. Oh, sorry, everybody. That is just too funny, Angela. Deacon, Pamela, just wait a few hours. They'll put it back up again. Oh my God, Marianne. Yeah, if it was Pima County, Nan was probably said just, I don't know. Oh my Lord Jesus. KB says, yep, they'll be tomorrow to get, unless they have a washout or something, and they'll find it somewhere else. Who knows? Who knows, Pamela Tegan, for sure. Oh, Bridget Tegan, yeah, just wait a few hours. Oh, wow. You can't make this shit up, everybody. Glenda would say Barney 5. Yeah, no doubt. Barney 5, Boss Hog. Oh, my God. Go ahead, Cletus, pick that bone up. Come on, Cooter. Oh, my God. Oh, donuts, no doubt, no doubt. KB says they probably said it's unrelated. Whew. It's unrelated to this case. Don't worry about it. Oh, God. Well, crime scene tape was taken down. It told AJ area was clear. So don't keep back. What if they told AJ, next time you want to come out here, make sure you have a permit. You could be on somebody's property and you could get sued. Oh, my Lord Jesus. Oh, you can't make this stuff up, everybody. I'm telling you. Oh, it's hard to be serious when you're when you're taking when you're hearing this kind of, I don't know a better lack of word, bullshit. I mean, it's just pathetic. Pamela says the other remains they found in 2023 were of Hokam person about 600. Oh my God. Oh my Lord Jesus. 600 years ago. Oh my Lord. Oh, okay. I gotta get serious here. Bridget with the laughter. Angela. KB, sad but true, no doubt with the heart. Page laughing. Pamela, Keystone Cops in Tucson. You guys remember that arcade game, Keystone Cops, where the little cops would move around and you had the joystick? I think it was actually called Keystone Cops. Tegan, I don't know. Oh, no. Tegan, they were probably taken home and given to their dog. That's horrible, Tegan. They're probably taken home and give it to their dog. Super Upers, Super Troopers. Marianne, yes, I do. Angela, they need Barney Fife on the team. Yes, Angela. Oh, my Lord. All right, everybody. I think we need to call this because it's just becoming literally laughable. Literally laughable. And no pun intended. Oh, my Lord. Where else are you going to get this kind of laugh, though? Honestly. Unreal. Or Police Academy, right? No doubt. Nanos definitely know Andy Griffith. That's for sure. That's for sure. He would have called Opie to come and stand there and wait for them to come and get the bone. KB, laughter is good medicine. It is. It is. When things are so sad in our society and our world and what we see going on in Tucson, it is. Sometimes you got to laugh rather than cry. No doubt about it, everybody. Click that like. If you are new and you want to subscribe. I know there's some laughter, but this is not laugh. It's laughable. It's not anything that we're not taking serious. It's just sometimes, man, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Real quick, click that heart, send the emojis, click the heart. If you are new and you want to subscribe to the channel. This is a very good, laid back, nothing but common sense here. Literally. We're not out here trying to impress anybody. We're just trying to go through the whole synopsis of what the hell happened. That's it. We bring in facts, and every now and then somebody will say a joke or laughter, but that's something we all can get behind, no doubt. Yes, DD, we're having too much fun, no doubt. Dinner time. Have a good evening, everyone. You got it, Falls. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Dog, and Maz and Chad. Thank you, Paige, for being here. Thank you, everybody. You know they're pitiful when you can't help laughing at them. No doubt about it, Bridget. Everybody, just remember, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Dee Dee, says Marion. You got it, Marion. Thank you for everything. Appreciate you as well. All the mods, everyone on the channel. You guys are true, literally, and I say this literally, that you guys know exactly what you're asking and you know what you're wanting. You know the information you're searching because to you, it doesn't even make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to me and I work in this field, how in the hell does it make sense to your average individual? You understand what I'm saying? Who doesn't have that experience in law enforcement. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, April. Thank you all for being here, all you pups. I appreciate you all. I'll be back 9 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully 9 o'clock tomorrow. I should be here in the morning, Eastern time, Ohio Eastern time. I'll be here. Hope to have everybody here, and we'll figure something out as we go. Thank you, Devil Dog. You got it, Angela. You're awesome. Appreciate you. You're all awesome in my book. And so is the chat. Simplify, everybody. Remember everything. If it's one thing you remember, everything is common sense. Everything is common sense. Have a good night, everybody. God bless and simplify.